First of all, let me say good morning to everyone that's here today. For this groundbreaking for the new joint use hangar. I was thinking about this when I was putting notes together, and you know, it's really not a good day, it's a great day. I've had the opportunity to be mayor, and first of all, let me say, I did wear a sport coat, I didn't wear a tie, but I can't do it. So before the end of this, you may see me just in a t-shirt, actually. But I've had the opportunity to be mayor for our great community now for almost 2 months. You know, and it seems like a lot longer than that in many ways, but being mayor even for less than 60 days, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of things and be involved in a lot of different projects. Things like I've got to throw out the first pitch at the JUCO World Series, which was big, and I will say it was a strike, no matter what anybody tells you, went right across the plate. I had the opportunity to receive a t-shirt from our chief of police after being called a very ugly name by one of our citizens at my very first meeting. He actually put the phrase right across the t-shirt for me and gave it to me. I have also got to ride in a C-17, which was amazing. I've got to speak at many schools, and I've read multiple proclamations. But what I wanted to tell you was that about 2 weeks ago, I was able to attend a mayor's conference, which I was very excited about, drove down. It was a good experience, but over a 2-day period, you get to meet a lot of different mayors and city commissioners. And during some of those conversations, one of them walked up to me and said, "Are you guys struggling like the rest of us?" And I kind of paused because I didn't exactly know how to answer that. Eventually I did answer it, and I said, I gave a kind answer. I said, you know, we can always use more funds, more money. You know, I just did that type deal. But the next day when I got in the pickup to drive home, I started thinking about that. I couldn't get that off my mind, and thought about it for almost 3 hours on the drive home. And I'm here to tell you, no, we're not. We are not struggling. We are very, very fortunate with all the different projects that we have going on to live in this community and to have dollars in the bank. But you don't realize how fortunate you are until you travel somewhere else and talk to other people. So I just think that the things we do in Enid are so important. We don't take it for granted. We try to be bold in everything that we do, and today's no different. You know, I can make a list that's 2 pages long of projects that we're working on. But you know, you can see progress in Enid and not even get out of this chair. Right across here is a brand new $2 million terminal that was built, less than 2 years ago. Has a restaurant in there that you can't hardly get a seat every time you go in. There is a room in there where you can go, a nice room. You can look at the weather. You can file your flight plans. There's another room where our new pilots can meet with their instructors and go over their mission, what they plan to do. You look just this direction, and you'll see a brand new extended runway, 8,200 foot long, that can land almost anything that flies. You'll see all kinds of ramps out here, and never leave your seat. So when I say that this is a city that's on the move, that we're bold, that we want to do things, we are definitely that. I will tell you that I'm excited about today. The new hangar we're going to have, 15,000 square feet, $2 million joint use hangar. I see it as a new facility, but I also just see it as another step. It's just the next process that we're going through to galvanize that relationship and that partnership that we have with Vance Air Force Base. I think it was you I told a while ago that the last thing George Pinkerton, the former mayor, told me was, don't screw up the relationship with the base. You know, so I've never forgot that. I do want to thank a few people that are here. You know, when you put a project together like this, it doesn't just happen. You know, you don't show up one day and someone's standing there with a checkbook going, hey, why don't y'all go build this? It takes a lot of work, a lot of people from a lot of different groups. I assure you I'm going to leave some folks out as I go through this, but we were laughing a while ago. If I leave you out, just stand up and pat yourself on the back, because we know it took everyone in here to make this thing happen today. Senator Langford was not able to make it today. I think I saw Peyton come in, his field rep, right there in the back. I'm sure you will thank the senator for us and let him know how much we appreciate it. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen has already been working on some additional stuff. We're very thankful for him. Representative Frank Lucas, he wasn't able to make it. I think they're pretty busy guys. The Oklahoma Department of Commerce right here just helped out tremendously. Secretary Gatz, thank you so much, and I know you're going to speak here shortly. City Commissioners, we only had one that was able to show up today, but Whitney Roberts, thank you so much. Senator Peterson, thank you. Wasn't sure if you were going to be able to make it. We appreciate you coming. Let's see, I don't want to leave anybody out. Colonel Johnson, thank you for being here, and Sergeant Smith, we appreciate that. Anybody from the Advanced Development Authority, we appreciate you being here. Chamber of Commerce, I talked to John a while ago, John Blankenship. Mike Cooper couldn't be here, but I assure you, Mike Cooper is involved in every single phase of this project. And then the Defense Community Infrastructure Grant Program, made possible actually by Senator Inhofe, and then he was able to get that grant program into the National Defense Authority, Authorization Bill that made this happen, along with the state of Oklahoma, the P3 Pooled Finance Infrastructure Development Program. So that then went to the Oklahoma legislature and on to the state's military and defense partners. So thank you, thank you. If I left somebody out, I apologize, but we appreciate you being here, and just want you to know that Enid and Vance will always have that relationship. Whatever we need to do to make sure that we keep that, we will work on it and we will do it. So thank you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Tim Gatz. I'm the Secretary of Transportation for Governor Kevin Stitt. And, you know, a couple things. Mayor, you know, it's kind of that wearing white after Labor Day. You know, on a beautiful day in Enid, Oklahoma, wearing a suit after Memorial Day, just not a good deal. And Senator Peterson, I think that's in statute, isn't it? We're not supposed to wear, if it ain't, it ought to be. So, but again, it's an absolute beautiful day to be here in Enid. Always love to get to Enid, talk transportation. When you think about aerospace and aviation in Oklahoma and what it really means to us, it's the past, it's right now, and it's the future. And think about that. When you mention aerospace and aviation, it's easy to think about Will Rogers Airport in Oklahoma City. It's easy to think about Tulsa International in Tulsa. Real easy to think about Vance, Tinker Air Force Base, Altus Air Force Base. We have 108 general aviation airports in the state of Oklahoma that are equally important to the communities that they serve. Investments in these general aviation airports, like we're seeing here today, are what drives Oklahoma to the future. And we've got to find ways to continue that. We talk about our congressional delegation. Folks, they do a tremendous job for this state in Washington, D.C. They make sure that we're focused on Oklahoma's future, because we're all trying to do the right thing for the next generation. With these facilities, much like the hangar we're standing here in today, they represent opportunity. They represent what we're going to need for the future to keep this thing going. The military presence here at Woodring is an absolute prime example of that. Just what you see right outside the door here, and the partnership, Mayor, that the community has with Vance. The partnership that the state of Oklahoma has with our military operations here, and the importance and the value that we place on making sure that they've got good access and good infrastructure to conduct their operations is extremely important. Something else I want to emphasize to the folks here in this room today is the importance of our Aeronautics Commission and the work that Grayson Hardee's as director and the commissioners, Commissioner Putnam, and the work that they do to support general aviation and all things aerospace and aeronautics in Oklahoma, whether that's education, whether that's making sure that those next generations of Oklahomans that are coming up have the same opportunities and better opportunities than we've had, to making sure that the public understands how important that aerospace and aviation is to Oklahoma's economy and to our communities. They do an absolute outstanding and tremendous job, and it's certainly an honor for me to be a small part of what they do every day. But again, I can't be prouder to be here today. Looking forward to a groundbreaking on an investment in Oklahoma's future, and as always, I look forward to seeing what's next for the city of Enid, for this community, and for Oklahoma. So again, appreciate the opportunity to be here. Mayor, thank you for your kind invitation, and really look forward to this groundbreaking and getting things started. So thank you very much. I'd like to make an introduction here, and I mentioned him, Grayson Hardee's, guys, the best aerospace aeronautics director in the country. So Grayson, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Secretary. It's a good day when you have the Secretary of Transportation. You can show all the modes of transportation right here. We got planes, trains, and automobiles all within sight of this great hangar, although the train may have moved on. Thank goodness it did, because we can actually get out of the airport after this event. I don't know if you've ever been trying to get here for lunch or breakfast and you're trying to make it and that train's stuck there on the tracks. You got to use the local knowledge to go around. But at the end of the day, as the Secretary was saying, aviation aerospace is our state's second largest industry. This, at the end of the day, is an opportunity for the state of Oklahoma to lead itself to the promised land. We've been through tough times here in western Oklahoma, all throughout Oklahoma, having an economy based on oil and gas and agriculture. And those are two very important pieces of the Oklahoma economy of our history. But again, those are commodities, and we know what happens when you base a budget on a commodity. It's a roller coaster ride. Aviation aerospace in the state of Oklahoma, we don't have that problem. We are an MRO state. We do maintenance, repair, and overhaul. You've got an MRO company right here that's world-renowned on your airport, ASIC. I don't know if Mickey Stowers is able to make it today, but Mickey Stowers does some amazing things in the MRO world. Same companies across the state of Oklahoma do business in MRO. We've got training, world-class training from our advanced partners just across the way. I don't know how many airplanes, sir, you have on the field today, but it's a lot. It's probably north of 24. That's the great jet fuel smell that you're smelling right now coming through the doors of the hangar. What better way to celebrate an upcoming 4th of July than smelling a little jet fuel from our Department of Defense friends on a morning here in Enid, Oklahoma, in America, in Central America, Central United States, in the great country of the United States of America. But aviation aerospace can lead us to that promised land. Why? Because it's going to help us smooth out that boom and bust cycle that the state of Oklahoma offers. I want to say a special thank you. I know a lot of people have been thanked today, but a special thank you to our legislative friends for allowing us at the Aeronautics Commission to be able to be your lead partners on aviation aerospace in the state of Oklahoma moving forward. The trust that you have in us to be able to invest in infrastructure across the state. We were just talking as we were gathering around this morning that this hangar was built probably about a dozen years ago, maybe 10 years ago, about $600,000-$700,000 to build this hangar. We were not investing in hangars a dozen years ago, but thanks to what the legislature and the governor have been able to do over the last 3 years, we have been able to stand up a hangar program. We know hangars create business opportunities. We know hangars create opportunities for new aviation and new activity at our airports across the state of Oklahoma. And it's thanks to the legislature and their trust in the Aeronautics Commission, soon to be the Department of Aerospace and Aeronautics coming November 1. Thank you for that, Senator. But the ability to invest in vertical development, whether you see it as our terminal building right behind us where you're going to go have great lunch or great breakfast, whether it's this new hangar we're going to be groundbreaking, whether it's the 8 hangars to the south of the airport, whether it's the apron projects, the trust the legislature and the governor has put in our agency to invest in this industry, and it all starts with infrastructure. That's the base foundation of how we move this industry from our number 2 industry in the state of Oklahoma to our number one. It is the fastest growing industry. It grew over 250% from 1999 to 2017. It's growing on an average clip of 10 to 12% a year, and we expect that to continue for the next decade thanks to our Department of Commerce friends and our local economic development organizations that are doing a great job of recruiting new companies to the state of Oklahoma. Our state is open for business. We have a great, friendly community. Once we get people to the state of Oklahoma, they don't want to leave. The hangar that we're talking about today, the hangar that we're going to be groundbreaking on today, is going to offer opportunities for the Enid Airport to be able to continue to be that first-class facility in Northwest Oklahoma. When you talk about Northwest Oklahoma, the first airport that comes to mind is Enid Woodring Regional Airport. You have a nice director. Where's my airport director? Here we go, right here. Our airport director is doing some amazing things. He's a young guy like myself, kind of came up through the ranks, was an intern at the airport. I was an intern at the Aeronautics Commission. But we're doing some amazing things. We need more of folks like us because our number one challenge in aviation aerospace is workforce. So whether it's hangars like this, hangars like the one we're going to be building, the terminal building, getting kids out to the airport to experience that first taste of flight, to experience that first smell of jet fuel burning, that see those airplanes take off and land on a regular basis, that's what's going to inspire our next generation. I want to say thank you to the Enid School District for jumping in the deep end of the pool and teaching four-year aviation curriculum in the AOPA. We've got 83 schools that will be teaching four-year aviation curriculum starting next fall. But Enid last year, when we came to them and said, hey, do you guys want to teach us? We were thinking, let's teach one 20-kid class. No, they jumped in the deep end. Over 100 kids in Enid this past year were learning about aviation and aerospace in the classroom. It's an all-the-above approach. Thank you to our congressional friends. Thank you to our Department of Defense partners. Thank you to our state legislature. Thank you to Secretary Gatz and all the faith that he puts in us and our organization. Thank you to my boss, Commissioner Putnam, for allowing me to have the opportunity to do this really fun and really cool job. But really, it all starts with you, the local individuals, and saying yes. Saying yes to continued investment in your infrastructure, because I can tell you, this same conversation happens all across the state of Oklahoma. The answer is not always yes. I go to many communities and they say, well, we can't, or well, we've got to prioritize these other things. Enid always says yes to their airport. And I hope that for the next decade, 2 decades, half century, you will continue saying yes to your airport, and this airport will continue being a crown jewel, not just for the Enid community in Garfield County, but for Northwest Oklahoma as a whole. So thank you all for coming today, and let's go turn some dirt.
All right, well, thank you all for coming. Before you head out, like you said, I'd like you all to join us right next door for the groundbreaking. So we have some large shovels that are specifically reserved for some people. I think Director Arties, you'll get one. Secretary Gatz, Mayor Mason, you'll get one. Jay Sweat, there's one for you. John with the Oklahoma Department of Commerce could not join us, so I think he sent someone from their ACES, our marketing team. There will be one for you there as well. And then several others, smaller shovels. Some diversified folks, Park Hill, Ken Gertie, will you grab one? And then some other people as well will go right next door and turn the dirt. There's also hearing protection right by our big hangar door to grab if the T1s are still going, so make sure you grab that. And there's also bottles of water in the cooler to grab since it is so hot. But if you all please join me out there, thank you.
Look at me first.
Oh, yeah, all right. Good? Ready? All right, ready?
Good.
Go. Pick it up. I can go. Shovel. There we go. There you go. You gonna take the dirt home with you? Maybe I'll take this home. Yeah. It's soil out here. It's some grass border. That's right.
We're out here 3 hours now.
That's right, yeah.
You got the whole foundation. The contractor says keep digging.
Yeah.
Keep digging.
Exactly.
Change order. Decrease the